Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's top stories, Malaysia's city volunteers are helping more than 2,000 fire victims in Kota Kinabalu through disaster survey and relief work. 47 Timor medical staff from East Taiwan travelled to Lanui Island to carry out a free clinic to provide medical services to 184 residents. Continuing on the topic of food safety, we see how some corporations ensure the safety of their products through a testing process. We kick off today's program in Malaysia, where a fire destroyed 260 houses in a village in Kota Kinabalu at the end of March, leaving over 2,000 residents homeless. Upon learning of the situation, city volunteers visited the disaster area to offer their support and services, hoping to provide assistance where needed.
In Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, a devastating fire ruined 260 stilt houses. In 2 hours, the fire ran amok through the village, destroying everything in its path. Thankfully, everyone escaped the disaster alive. However, over 2,000 residents are now without a home to return to.
I don't know the cause of the fire. I just knew that I should run for my life, and all I have now are the clothes on my back.
In the aftermath of the fire, Kota Kinabalu Tzu Chi volunteers went forth to survey the disaster zone. As the amount of people temporarily housed in shelters is overwhelming, volunteers had to make several trips to make sure all the survivors were taken care of.
It's been 3 to 4 days and many of our villagers are still unable to work. Many of their belongings were destroyed by the fire, like my own savings. It was burned up in the fire and it was all I had.
The disaster was catastrophic. If we look at the numbers the government gave us, it would be 260 houses, but each house belongs to more than one family. It might be 3 or 4 families living in one house. We saw many children affected by the fire. Some are just newborns. Right now, we're providing them with infant formula. As for supplies such as water or food, the Malaysian Red Crescent organization will take care of that.
Tzu Chi volunteers quickly purchased formula for the infants to ensure the babies will not go hungry in this time of need. Tzu Chi volunteers also plan to hold other aid distributions in the coming days to help relieve the worries of these villagers.
Moving to Cavite Province in the Philippines, at Tzu Chi volunteers' recent trip to Dreamland Village, a community located near a landfill, they were joined by local residents who were once recipients themselves. Seeing the less fortunate has made local volunteers realize their blessings and cherish what they have. In all, 309 households received rice, beans, biscuits, milk powder and laundry detergents.
Situated in the municipality of Rosario in Cavite Province, Dreamland Village is an impoverished community located near a landfill. The residents here live without running water and electricity, which is hard for some volunteers to imagine. Philippine Tzu Chi volunteers visit this community every 3 months. Joining the aid distribution this time are local volunteers who were once in these recipients' shoes.
When we entered Dreamland, the residents were very welcoming. It feels good to be able to help others as I have received their help in the past.
I thought I was poor, but when I realized there are those who are worse off than me, every day I will try to donate money into my coin bank, even if it is just a peso, to help those in greater need.
Thank you. The aid distribution of basic necessities not only provide financial relief for Dreamland residents, but also help cultivate their compassionate heart.
I love to participate in Tzu Chi activities because helping others fills my heart with gratitude and warmth.
Dreamland villagers hand over their donations to help the Tzu Chi Foundation build an ophthalmology center. Although it's not much, the sentiments behind the amount is worth more than gold itself.
Also holding an aid distribution are Tzu Chi volunteers in China's Jiangsu province who traveled to Suqian City to hand out the much-needed relief items to those that couldn't make it to the previous winter events. In total, 176 impoverished families showed up to collect the aid supplies.
This is Suqian City in Jiangsu province. In spite of the cold weather, many seniors are happily waiting in line for their turn to receive their daily necessities from Tzu Chi.
Last year, when we held the winter aid distribution, the weather was extremely cold. The local leader told us that some of the seniors didn't come pick up their supplies because they couldn't stand the cold weather. We promised him that we would come back in the spring to provide these seniors with their daily necessities.
Despite that this distribution is only for those that couldn't make it to last year's distribution, Tzu Chi volunteers still insist on handing out the relief supplies personally to each recipient.
Thank you for providing us with warmth and helping us regain our health through these supplies.
As the distribution is being held at Feilong Wenwu Elementary School, many students are also on hand to help carrying the items for the seniors.
The seniors are very old and can't lift the heavy things, so we are here to help. My heart feels warm when I help others.
I receive love from others, so I need to contribute my love too. I need to teach my son to spread the great love to even more people.
Thanks to the distribution, these youngsters have now truly understand the truth that giving is better than receiving.
Last weekend, 47 Eastern District team of medical staff seized the opportunity to hold a free clinic on the offshore island of Lanyu, also known as the Orchard Island. The free clinic provided medical services from 6 different departments, helping a total of 184 local residents.
Early in the morning, before sunrise, Eastern District Tima medical staff are heading to Lanyu Island, where they will be holding a free clinic. First, Tima medical staff travel from Hualien to Taichung County before taking a boat ride to Lanyu Island. Today is the second clinic in the area, with Tima medical staff hosting their first free clinic here in 2005. Lanyu Island has a population of 4,800, all of whom rely on a small clinic to safeguard their health. Therefore, Tzu Chi's free clinic is something that everyone looks forward to.
The island lacks OBGYN doctors and pediatricians. Tzu Chi's free clinic is an event that we really need.
Seeing a dentist for the first time, Hu Xingyi is very happy. However, the medical staff realized that it is much more important to pass on health education to local residents instead of having them relying on free clinics.
Right now, their teeth are great, but they need to keep it up by brushing their teeth every day. I want to educate them on the importance of taking care of their own teeth. They need to care for their teeth as if they are a dentist.
The free clinic was supposed to be held at Lanyu Junior High School. However, without enough electricity, the free clinic couldn't provide dental care and eye treatment on site. Luckily, with the help of local police officers, a temporary medical booth was set up inside the police station. In the end, 184 people benefited from the free clinic.
In China, Tzu Chi Foundation and Xiamen Medical Association, Xiamen Health Bureau and Longyan Health Bureau came together in partnership to organize a seminar at the end of March with 150 medical staff in participation. Faced with the problem of medical malpractice and the widening gap in doctor and patient relationships, department supervisors from Taiwan's Tzu Chi hospitals shared the experiences by pointing out the first step to improving the doctor and patient relationship begins with humanistic care.
The aim of the seminar is to find ways to incorporate humanitarianism into the healthcare system. Medical personnel from public hospitals in Xiamen and Longyan City are here to find out how to become better humanitarians while safeguarding the health of patients.
Some of the superintendents and department heads have visited the master in Hualien, and some have visited the Fuding Hospital. All of them feel that the way in which Tzu Chi cares for their patients is a spirit which they want to learn.
Doctor-patient relationships have through the years deteriorated, and as Xiamen Health Bureau Secretary Yang Shu-yu points out, the biggest cause is a lack of humanistic care. At the seminar, participants come to understand that to improve this relationship not only requires treating a patient's illness, but also caring for their well-being.
I realized through the seminar that only when we witness suffering firsthand will we appreciate and create blessings. This will help me promote this spirit in our hospitals.
After the Fuding Hospital's presentation, I feel that although the situation here is not exactly the same, we can still nevertheless spread the message of Tzu Chi's humanitarianism. The short two-day seminar made a significant impact in the hearts of these medical staff, who have decades of experience behind them. It is hoped that they will put Tzu Chi's spirit of great love and humanitarianism into practice, providing better service for all residents.
To help Tzu Chi volunteers better understand the dangers and consequences of strokes, the Tzu Chi Malacca chapter in Malaysia asked an expert on neurology, Dr. Xu Jingtian, and a former head nurse, Wang Rui-san, to share with volunteers on how to prevent the life-threatening condition, as well as ways to care for those who have suffered from a stroke in the past.
On March 19th, the Tzu Chi Malacca chapter held a medical training seminar to help volunteers better understand how to prevent strokes in care recipients, as well as how to care for stroke victims.
If patients show a high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and high blood sugar, we will do our utmost to encourage them to watch their diet and to exercise more.
They won't have any strength in their limbs. The limbs will be very heavy, so they need to use a lot of strength to pull up their pants. Once they pull it up to here, then it's easy to put on.
In addition to teaching volunteers more about stroke, nurse Wang Rui-san also demonstrates how to help stroke victims dress and walk.
You need to support them here and use your foot to push the other foot forward. Support them until they can sit down.
Medical volunteer Chen Caizhu, whose own father passed away from a stroke, plans on using what has been taught here today to help patients at future Tzu Chi free clinics.
I now have a much better understanding of this condition. We get a lot of stroke victims at our free clinics, and today we have learned how to properly move them from their car to their wheelchair to their bed.
The 2-hour medical seminar not only left volunteers with a deeper understanding of a stroke, but also gave them the tools to prevent it and care for those suffering from its after effects.
When deciding what to eat, we probably take different things into consideration. Some might only care if the food is delicious or not, while others tend to check every ingredient label before making a purchase. In our continuing feature report on food safety, we follow our dietary reporter to a food tasting laboratory to see what preventive measures businesses are putting in place to guard their products. Well-known food manufacturers with decades of history release a large number of new products each year. However, as consumers are becoming ever more concerned about food safety, these new products must all first pass safety testing.
How does a laboratory carry out food testing? Let's take a look using this packet of instant noodles.
In a few seconds, dried instant noodles are pulverized and divided equally into testing bottles before being liquidized with acid for easier observation. Finally, the mixture is put inside a microwave-like machine for the first phase of testing. The machine is used to determine if there are any elements of metal in the tested product. Next to the bacteria-free station, where the surrounding air is sterilized with fire, which is a necessary step to ensure the food is not contaminated by any bacteria.
Food security isn't just an issue with the ingredients used, but it's also a concern during production. When the product is made, we must also conduct related experiments.
This company revealed that maintenance fee for its multi-million-dollar laboratory are around tens of millions of dollars each year, not something small to medium-sized businesses can afford.
If you only take into consideration the expense, it would be difficult to justify carrying out such experiments. However, if you see it as investing in a brand name and how it may profit you in the long run, you might be more committed to do so. A registered factory means that it must be of a certain size. There are about 5,000 such factories in Taiwan, out of which some 10% are GMP recognized. However, these 10% together hold a large slice of the market. If GMP businesses hold greater market share, then it is a guarantee that there is a higher proportion of safe food out there.
Whether or not a business is equipped with such expensive testing machines, it is the responsibility of all manufacturers to carry out relevant quality controls. In fact, many businesses find Taiwan's food safety standards higher than international standards.
The stricter the food regulations, the better it is for consumers, but it means less profit for businesses. Nevertheless, in considering food safety, it poses a lower risk in any future disputes.
Though the government has implemented necessary regulations, the current situation still depends on the manufacturers to act ethically when producing goods and the consumers to pay attention to the food they eat.
The question is not whether you care or not, or if it is delicious or not, but if the manufacturers have been honest with their labels, whatever ingredients used should be listed. Coming back to the topic, businesses have been dishonest, but consumers do not care enough and are only concerned about the taste.
We all enjoy delicious food, but do you really care for what goes into your stomach? Next time you eat, you might want to ask yourself that.
Since the reconstruction of the Rangu Rangu Elementary School in Zimbabwe in 2012, city volunteers have continued to accompany the students on their education path. Every day, volunteers will cook hot meals at lunchtime for the students. However, as they normally cook outdoors, there might be sand or dust in their food. To provide students a comfortable environment to enjoy their probably only meal of the day, volunteers and local residents joined hands to build a simple kitchen.
Here at the Rangu Rangu Elementary School in Zimbabwe, volunteers are busy preparing lunch for over 1,000 students, expecting their only meal of the day. Every student gets in line to pick up the food. After months of practice, washing hands before lunchtime has become a habit.
This water has been sterilized. After washing their hands, they will grab food to eat. So we make sure the water is processed and clean.
Given what might be their only meal of the day, these children are all eating with relish. Over the past few months, volunteers normally cook the meals outdoors. On rainy day or windy days, however, sand and dust get into the food. Therefore, volunteers decided to help build a simple kitchen to keep the food protected from bad weather. Knowing that city volunteers are building another facility for the students, local residents and students' parents all volunteer to join the effort. Some students even come to help after school. Following the completion of the simple kitchen, students will now be able to enjoy their delicious meals in a comfortable environment.
Moving to the United States on March 29th, the Tzu Grade Love Elementary School in California organized their first Grandparents' Day in hopes of bringing the students closer to their grandparents and also teach them the importance of filial piety.
Here in California, the Tzu Grade Love Elementary School organized their first ever Grandparents' Day. On such an occasion, students welcome their grandparents to their school.
I am so glad my grandma can come. I love you, Grandma. It's good to hold such an event because it teaches children the importance of respecting the elderly.
I love love my grandpa. I love my grandma.
Teaching children to be thankful and the importance of mannerism are what Tsuji Elementary School emphasizes.
They are so much fun. I love you. You're the best.
Grandparents also, it's really important to take care of them and think about them. As these kids get older, that's going to be part of their responsibility.
Tsuji not only helps students discover their talents and interests, but also teaches them to fulfill their filial duties and brings happiness to each family.
我爱你。
Back to China on March 24th, volunteers from Fuzhou City in Fujian traveled to Minho County to deliver scholarships to 80 students from Minho No. 1 Middle School and Minho No. 5 Middle School. In addition to the monetary assistance, the volunteers also continue to teach the scholarship recipients Jingsi aphorisms and encourage them to practice these words of wisdom in their daily life.
As she receives her scholarship, Ling Mengting hugs the volunteer before breaking down in tears. It turns out that 2 weeks prior to the ceremony, Mengting's grandmother passed away.
You can remember your grandmother, but you also have to let her go. Maybe after a certain period of time, your grandmother will be reborn and once again be by your side.
Every 3 months, volunteers travel to Minho County to hand out scholarships to needy students. For both volunteers and students, it is a day eagerly anticipated, as volunteers arrive not only with financial aid, but also with lessons on how students can use the wisdom found in Jingsi aphorisms to overcome life's difficulties.
Every person has limitless potential, so I hope that every member of our senior class will be able to test into the college of their dreams.
Getting angry is punishing yourself for the mistakes of others. When someone does something that is incorrect, we can speak to them to help teach them. If you are angry, all you do is hurt your own body and energy.
At every scholarship ceremony, the principals of the schools will make it a point to encourage the students to find a way to give back.
I hope that all the students sitting before me will study hard and get exceptional grades. In that way, we can repay our parents and all those who have helped us.
Thanks to the scholarship help, these students from poor families can now study in peace and thus become their families' and society's hope for the future.
We go to Hong Kong at the end of today's program as city volunteers visited a local nursing home to spend a day with the senior residents there. The blue and white uniformed caregivers seized the opportunity to promote recycling and got the seniors to do some exercise. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.